to people who saw that pocket card, can you explain how that ended up there and why the president needed something like that?
It is entirely normal for a president to be briefed on reporters who will be asking questions at a press conference and issues that we expect they might ask about. We do not have specific questions in advance. That's not something that we do. And in fact, I would point out the questions that was asked was different than what was on the card.
That was the White House press secretary there, Karine Jean-Pierre, responding to the scandal yesterday with the president's cheat sheet. Joe Biden yesterday added fuel to the fire when it comes to his lack of transparency in front of the media when he was caught red-handed with a cheat sheet of reporters. He's had this before when his team give him a list of pre-approved reporters he can call upon to ask him questions. 2 reporters were allowed questions at the meeting with South Korean president. However, one of the cards had an actual question a journalist from the LA Times would ask. That prompted a lot of criticism for the Biden administration to have to brief the president in such detail when he's in front of the media, and also raised questions as to how he had access to that question. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, though, said it was normal for the president to be briefed on what a reporter may ask, while pointing out that particular journalist didn't even ask the question in the end. But according to Republican presidential candidate Larry Elder, this isn't anything new. History has shown that left-wing reporters have been blocking and tackling for the Democratic Party for a while.
It certainly suggests that the topic was offered either by the reporter or offered by the White House, and the reporter parroted it. Either way, it's bad news. And you know, there was a study done by the Federalist, Brian, that showed the Democrat who covered the president reporters outnumbered the Republicans 12-1. Joan Walsh is a left-wing reporter. She covered the Obama administration, 2008. She said during his rallies, the reporters were literally mouthing his words. They were swooning, she said, her word, not mine. And I'm old enough to remember, Brian, when Donna Brazile, who was then a correspondent for CNN, literally gave Hillary the questions for the 2016 debate. So reporters have been blocking and tackling for the Democrats for a very long period of time, and this is just the latest example of that.
But that civil answer from Karine Jean-Pierre didn't stop Fox News White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich from questioning how much briefing does the president require before fronting the media.
Just to be clear, to people, skeptics who saw the card and saw the question number 1 and might think that that is a signal that it was pre-organized. Did the president have other questions that he was prepared, had similar talking points in case he was asked something on other topics in that same?
Jackie, I'm going to be, as someone who is part of his of the prep briefing with the president for these press conferences, as his press secretary, we talk about an array of topics that could potentially come up, and that's what we do.
These headlines surrounding Joe Biden and the media have been going on for some time now. That's because White House journalists rely on the press secretary's briefings as opposed to being exposed to the president themselves. Because Joe Biden does lack in the department of media appearances. In fact, he has held fewer press conferences in his first 2 years in office than any of his recent predecessors. For instance, in Donald Trump's first 2 years, he had held 202. Barack Obama had held 275. Joe Biden, well, he's held just 54. This actually angered reporters so much in September 2021 that journalists launched a formal objection with the White House after President Biden refused to take any questions when holding a meeting with former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Press conferences are important for the American people to be able to see how the administration is going and if they are being accountable for any election promises made. A new Fox News poll revealed how Americans feel about Joe Biden's lack of press conferences. Respondents were asked if it was important for the president to hold regular press conferences. 76% said it was, while 23% said it wasn't. So on the rare occasion that Joe Biden does front the media for a press conference, how does the administration pick their reporters? Because we know he usually has a pre-approved list he's allowed to call on. Karine Jean-Pierre claimed they try and make it fair and equal, so reporters who perhaps haven't had a question in a while get one.
So the way that we have moved forward with this type of process is that we reach out to a number of reporters who we know are going to be at the press conference, and that's what we did yesterday. And also we try to be really mindful and who has not gotten a question in a while.